So I am getting on today to just like, well, you'll see it on the description after it's posted. I'm just having a self-care Saturday and just trying to take care of me. I gave myself a little facial. I just, you know, trying to catch up on some things I haven't gotten to, did some ironing, and I figured I'd come on. It's been a while, and I'm always saying, I know I don't do these as often as I used to or as I'd like to. So when I can, I'll jump on, give you guys some tips, some reviews for 3D foundation and some other things. So today I thought I'd share some favorites. So before I get started, and I'm going to post my phone, or not post my phone, attach my phone to my little ring light holder here. But I just want to show you guys, oh shoot, I can't flip it. I don't know how to flip this. All right, let me see if I can just turn this around and hopefully you guys can see it. So do you see my palette here? It's on one of those electric radiator heaters. I hope that you could see that. And here, let me put my phone on my little stand. Now, I just wanted to show that to you guys because I know with the winter months, the cooler months, I know that I have a hard time with my 3D foundation colors, particularly my contour, and sometimes even the highlight colors, where they're, I feel like this isn't quite right, sorry guys, where they're just a little bit stiff. So now it's not going to be stiff, so I can't point that out. But so if you warm them up a little bit, not too much, not too long, that just works perfect for me, because we have an old farmhouse and our bedrooms are super chilly, and so we all have space heaters to kind of make it more bearable. But it works really great with that nice little shelf. I could just basically, what I do as soon as I get up in the morning, like if I know I'm going to get ready, typically I take my showers at night, I will plop this guy right on there, so it's sitting there for a few minutes. I probably like to do it about 10 minutes or so before I need it, so I just try to do it first thing. There have been a couple of times where I left it a little too long, so they do start melting because it is cream formula, as I've talked about often in the past, but never to the point where they're dripping. Like when I tell you guys to melt them down to refresh them, I mean, it's not that hot. But just be careful so that you just remember when you go to apply it, it's going to be really nice and soft, so you can tend to put a little too much on your brush. So that's the only thing. Once you have it down, you'll get an idea of how long to leave it so that you get the texture that you want, and how much to press down with your brush. So it might take a couple trials when you do it the first time. It's something that sometimes people complain about, that they're saying, hey, what happened to my 3D foundation? It's not the same anymore. Is it old? Is it whatever? And it might just be it's too cool, and the temperature does make a difference, which in the summer it's great. I don't have to do anything to it, but because again our house is so cool, it just it affects the product and how soft and creamy it is. So that's just a tip that I wanted to give to you guys, and then I just wanted you to see it. Hopefully that worked when I flipped the phone over. So you know what, I'm going to plop it back on there for a little bit because I want to talk to you guys about some other things. So like I was saying, I wanted to share some favorites today. As you can see, I have zero face. I did a facial, and we have, for those of you who aren't familiar or you might have forgotten, we do have the Seint skincare, which is terrific. Highly recommend it. I've been using it consistently now for over a year. It's made a really big difference, especially with my hyperpigmentation. I don't know if you can see it. Thankfully, that's a good thing that it's not super obvious. It's also less obvious in the cooler months because I'm away from the summer. And even though I do tend to wear sunscreen every single day, which is something I do recommend, I'm not a big sunscreen fan, but only if it's a physical sunscreen that's a healthy product, and then just mainly more for my face than for my body, unless I'm purposely getting sun or I'm outside or going to the beach or that type of thing. And I do recommend, there are some ones that I like, but I really love Supergoop. They have one that is, what did I do with my other Supergoop? it is like a primer, which typically I do not recommend a primer. Here it is. It's Supergoop Unseen. Because a lot of the primers are not compatible with Seint IIID foundation. They're a silicone base and they just tend to make our cream slide off. So you have to make sure that you get something that's water-based. But this is a really good one, and it just feels and looks like your traditional primer that most of you might be used to if you do use a primer. It has that, I really haven't been using it all too much. And if you can see, it's just kind of like, it's clear, but it's got a little bit of whitish to it, but it goes on completely clear. So that's a great recommendation for those of you that really do like a primer. It is not necessary if you apply your product right. And I always start with Seint setting spray as a primer, not just as a setting spray. So that's a great recommendation for staying and lasting power for your product. This, honestly, I use more just because I like the texture and it's just a good way for me to get sunscreen on my face. But I have actually been using, this is just one of their standard, it's just the everyday play lotion, just for, you know, your whole body, not just your face. And it's just like your traditional white, but it's more like a lotion. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this one. It's more like a lotion versus like a thicker sunscreen. It doesn't really feel like sunscreen at all. So I basically do that first after I've done my my facial regimen. So that's one of the other things I wanted to tell you guys about today. I did a post recently. They had a really great sale. So aside of the Seint skincare, which I absolutely love and use every single day, so there is this this line called GoPure. GoPure. I know everything probably tends to go backwards when I hold things up. Sorry about that. But so they had this sale recently where you could get 3 of the serums, and I just basically use their serums, a couple of other products, maybe a few other products, but not the entire line. I don't love the cleanser. I don't love the toner. I mean, it's a great product. I highly recommend the line, but I just really prefer Seints. I don't know. It's just the texture of it and everything else. I just don't love it. But their serums I absolutely love. So they recently had a sale. They have great sales all of the time. So when they have really good sales, I do try to post them. I am not affiliated with any of these other non-Seint favorites I'm telling you guys about. I don't get anything from them. I know some people have like affiliate links and then they get a certain percentage. I don't even know how to do that. I am not one of those people. But I do love it and I recommend it, and I've recommended it to a lot of my friends, most of my friends. So the differences with these the serums is this is just the traditional serums, but they have, and I'll show you. So this is a retinol. I only use this at night. This is a hyaluronic acid and a vitamin C serum. I only used to use these daytime, but I've been using this at night as well. Sometimes I alternate with these because of something else I've been doing, which I will share. And that's been like within the past month or so. It's something newer and I think it's making a really big difference. So I'll share about that too. So with the regular serums, there are these brown, you know, just the dark bottles. So the active serums, which are my absolute favorites, they weren't on as good of a sale this time. So they're still, these are still great. But if you're considering between the two and wondering the difference, I definitely recommend the white bottle active line because it's more active. That's what it's for. So it's just a really terrific trio for anti-aging. And even if you didn't want to do the trio, I would definitely recommend this one for night, the retinol one. And this is a lot, it's the Firm and Lift serum. It's a lot lighter than like a traditional retinol. I know some people have sensitivities to those. I've never actually used like a full, you know, intense retinol or a prescription type of product, something you would get more like from a dermatology office. So I I have heard and I've seen reviews and others have commented that things that they can't use of that type of nature with those ingredients, they can use with this. So disclaimer, I am definitely not a dermatologist or a professional, but just that's sort of what I've gone on, and I've never had any issues. I tend to do have sensitive skin. It is less sensitive than it used to be, definitely in my younger years, but I do tend to break out easy, especially if I use new products or I switch things around. And some ingredients I just tend to be sensitive to, but I don't know what those are. It's just some things I can be reactive to things. So anyway, so those are those two. So after doing my Seint cleanser, and then my toner, which I use the Seint toner, or honestly, you guys, I'm just going to tell you the truth. I will go to the dollar store and I will buy, if I can find it. It's been very difficult to find since COVID. I think people just started going crazy, and in addition to trying to find, I mean, we're going back to the beginning of COVID, and you know, that first year, that's so depressing to me to have to say, oh, when it first started, the first year, and here we still are. Hopefully one day we will find an end to this. But you know, when you guys remember the shelves were empty, there was no toilet paper, you couldn't find any alcohol, let alone, you know, your hand sanitizer. So because you couldn't get hand sanitizer, alcohol, hydrogen peroxide was just like off the shelves. So along with that, I'm not really sure why, but I could never ever find the witch hazel anymore. And you know, it's 100% pure witch hazel, which is one of the base ingredients for the Seint toner and other toners out on the line that are not alcohol based. I do not use anything with alcohol. It just dries out your skin. It strips your natural oils. It's just not good for you. Even if you think it's good, if you have acne prone skin, it's not. You can tend to just overproduce oils and other things because it's stripping everything away. It's just not healthy for your skin. So I would suggest that you not use alcohol if you are doing that. Anyway, so back to the witch hazel. Okay, so typically I would get it at the dollar store, which now when I do find it, I buy like 4 bottles because it's just a little bottle. But what I do is I put it in a pretty container, a glass container, and then I add some favorite essential oils to it. Now, okay, so a little bit of information. I'm gonna give you a heads up, you guys. This is gonna be a very long-winded video today. Because I'm trying to catch up. I know it's been a while. I'll give you guys a review, and then, like I said, I just wanted to throw out some extra information, just to have tips or, you know, some products you might be interested in checking out. Okay, so as far as essential oils goes, I'm not going to get into a whole lot. And again, I am no expert, but I am a fan of essential oils. And you do not have to get the big high-end brands that are out there, that the direct sell companies. They are wonderful. They are fabulous. But there are some other alternatives out there that are, to me, just as good. They publish their studies. They publish their sources of their essential oils. They are high quality. I feel like they're completely safe. I would not advocate going out there and just buying any essential oil that you buy just anywhere. But there are some reputable companies, and if you would like to know some of those names, I'm happy to drop you, you know, a message with those. So, but one of the things I've learned, I've done some webinars and that type of thing. I always like educating myself with things that I am a fan of, especially in the health and beauty industry. So I have, you know, actually taken the time to watch like webinars that were days long, and then I would just watch them at night or certain things. But the essential oils have so many benefits that I did really want to learn more, and I knew that it was important that they were safe. So one of the things I will tell you is that, which makes sense, right? Oil and water does not mix. So this is going to tie into this toner that I'm telling you, my little DIY toner. So in order for your essential oil to mix with the liquid, you need to have a little bit of an emulsifier, something that it binds to, so that it then will mix in your liquid, like water, like witch hazel, or some other DIY, you know, thing that you might be into. Like I make my own mouthwash and that type of thing. So what you can do is you start with a little bit of grapeseed extract. If you've never heard of that, you can Google it. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it at your health food store. And typically the only one that I ever buy, there might be other brands, it looks like, I don't have it in front of me, it looks like a white, it's just a white bottle, and then it has not a dropper, but just one of those nozzles, like an old-fashioned saline spray, you know, nozzle for your nose or something like that. So it's very thick, and it's pure grapeseed extract, and it's just thick like a syrup. So because of that, it will bind with your essential oil. So what I do is I take, you know, my pretty little bottle container. I wish I had it in front of me to show you. And I will start with like 10 drops of the grapeseed extract, and then I'll add a few drops of my favorite essential oil. So I've done lavender because it's good for your skin. I've done lemon because that's really a great thing for skin. It has great properties for skincare. I'm trying to think if I've done any other scents. But whatever you decide to do, maybe do a little research as to why you would use a certain scent, not just because you like the way that it smells. And again, you know, there are certain scents that are better for your skin than others, as far as, you know, skincare, beauty, that type of thing. So, and this is a good one. I love this. And okay, so this is one of the companies I use. This is Rocky Mountain Oils, and it's called Skin Tone. It smells amazing. It's a blend of different things, and I will put just like 1 or 2 drops on my finger, and I will mix that with some of the dropper full for my Firm and Lift cream that I use at night, and I just mix it together and I put that all over. But sometimes I've actually put that in my toner as well. Anyway, so now I am totally gonna lose my place. Where was I going with this, you guys? I guess just telling you about, you know, just these extra products, the actives, starting with the toner. Okay, so maybe that's where I was. So the steps that I'm starting with my skin. So after I do the toner, whether it's Seint or whether it's my DIY that I just mentioned, which I kind of alternate back and forth, then I will apply my Hyleuranic Acid, and after that, and you have to let it sink in for like 30 seconds to really absorb your skin. So I used to use the Seint night cream at night and in the morning. But since I have been using it on such a regular basis, really it's intended as a night cream, but it's great to use for both if you tend to be drier. I am not dry at all. I am very oily, but I have learned from my some of my Seint upline who are licensed estheticians, which, you know, for years, why don't they tell us these things when we're growing up? I was oily, acne prone my entire life. I mean, I still am, you know, oily prone, but it's just completely under control now. It is not like it used to be. So what happens is, for many of us that are oily, it sounds crazy, and I didn't believe it, but we're actually dry. But our skin is going into this super active, overproducing sebum because it's trying to catch up. So if you actually moisturize, which sounds counterintuitive, and it sounds crazy because I ran from, you know, heavy, and I'm not talking, you know, some moisturizer might be not just any moisturizer. Some of them might be too heavy, too dense, too much going on for, you know, an oily type person. But this has been incredible and really just regulating that oil production. So that's something I would highly suggest that you try, give it a try. It will not be overnight, and you will be extra oily at the beginning, but give it a couple of weeks and keep going and stick with it, and you will probably find that it makes a really big difference. And you know what? It's the same with just oil production in your scalp. If you tend to have oily hair, which again, I basically I was just kind of oily, you know, my hair, my face, you know, a little bit on upper back. And same idea, same principle. You're overproducing and your skin just keeps thinking that it needs more. So if you glob on that conditioner and you take the time to really, you know, massage it into your scalp, let it sit there for a few minutes. Maybe do your, what I try to do is I do my hair first, and then while I let, you know, those last products towards the end, conditioner and everything, sit around, then I go with the rest of my routine, you know, showering, bathing my body, shaving my legs, all that good stuff. So something else to consider. Okay, so stick with me here. So back to our routine. Okay, so then after I do my hyaluronic acid, I know that's a hard thing to say, and let that sit in, then I will take my sunscreen that I just did. Okay, and I know these are extra steps, and I'm not saying you have to do this. Not everybody has to do this. Not everybody wants to do this. I'm just going to give you guys my full rundown of what I actually do, which you're not going to see in the videos sometimes unless I do one of these, because it's just too many steps and people don't really want to pay attention. And not everybody might need or want to do that. So the next thing I would do is, and I take my Seint spray like I told you guys, and I will use that as my primer. Oh man, did I just spray the phone? I think my my nozzle was turned sideways and somehow that I think it got my mirror, missed my face at the beginning. All right, so now I have my Seint spray. Okay, so what else can I tell you about? So after the Seint spray, oh, okay. So I have oily lids with my eyeshadow, and then obviously my lids are darker than you know, some people. So for my color to look truer, my eyeshadow, it's nice for me to have a primer. And so I tend to go with Urban Decay or Too Faced, or I really have learned to love the NYX. This is the white pot in the primer because of that. I get to get that true color for my shadows. So what I do, I kind of go back and forth. If I'm kind of having a really low key, very low to little makeup or no makeup, honestly, I will use this Urban Decay, which is a nude color, and I will just kind of apply that on even with nothing, because I have discovered after years of my eyes burning and driving me crazy, it's particularly bad when I have no makeup on, because the oil and the salt from my skin gets into my eyes. I know that sounds crazy, and it's taken a lot of years of self-discovery to figure that out and going to eye doctors. I still do get some dry eye, and tip, most of that for most people, not everyone of course, is due to the fact that we are on our screens all of the time and we don't blink enough. So you have to make it a point to be intentional about when you're on your screen to really take the time to remember to blink. So if your eyes start getting a little dry or irritated, just take a pause and go, ooh, I better sit here and blink for a little bit. And you will find that it does help. It does make a difference. But obviously, if you're having major issues, then you know you better get checked out. It might be something else, but okay. So see how white and ridiculous this looks? But the reason for that though is so that now I'm toning down my natural color, so that when I do the eye color, it's gonna look more like what that color is, versus I'm feeling often that when I don't do this, and I was feeling often and frustrated, that a lot of colors weren't really showing, or that they just look different. Like green didn't look green, blue didn't look blue. Now I feel like sometimes that's still the case, and so I could go heavier on this white, but for the most part it's fine for me. I care more so like if I'm going out somewhere, or it's, you know, a party or the holidays or whatever, which obviously these days we don't have a whole lot of that going on. Okay, so I'm gonna let that set, and kind of, it's not going to dry, but just so it's really emollient. It's almost, I don't want to say like a lotion, almost like the texture of a heavy sunscreen. So if I put too much, and you can layer it too, then it's almost like a little bit, I can't explain it. I don't want to say it's wet or goopy, but I just want it to be just set before I put any eye color on. So if you haven't heard me say this before, I do recommend that you do your eye colors first. If you're going to do something fancy, which honestly today I probably won't, because it's a great tip for if you get any fallout, then you've already done your eyes, and then you can clean everything up once you're applying your 3D foundation. So, so that's a tip if you haven't heard me say that before. Okay, so the next step, while I'm waiting for that to dry, I did my setting spray, is I will take, again, because I tend to be a little bit more shiny, a translucent powder. This is a favorite, Laura Mercier, and you'll hear me mention this probably, gosh, I think in all the videos I've done since I've been doing Seint, which has been, I'm going on my 1-year anniversary, which that's fun. I've been using Seint for at least a couple years before I decided to dive in. Early last year, our anniversary is on Monday. Seint's birthday is on the 17th, and that's when I decided to dive in because there was a great artist incentive, and there is another great artist incentive this year. But my upline Jan and my friend, she told me about Laura Mercier, but I also am a fan, and I really like Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. It's just that I haven't needed to replace this, so I'm not sure what I'll buy next time. It is getting low, but it's still there. So the reason I do this again is to just help minimize some of that shininess, overly shiny. Now you'll notice if you are new to Seint 3D foundation, or if you've never used it before, that the 3D foundation is meant to have more of a dewy finish, not matte. So this does not prevent getting that dewy finish, which I really love. And you know, it does take getting used to for some people. At first they're feeling like, I don't know, some people mention, oh, it's like it feels tacky or sticky, and it's not. It's just dewy, and it's better for your skin. However, if you just love that matte finish and you cannot live without it, then you can definitely do a translucent powder on top, sort of as your finish, and using that as your set, or maybe even after the setting spray. It just obviously needs to be very translucent for your particular skin tone so that it doesn't minimize the makeup that you have finished. And I would also recommend a very fine milled powder, which Seint's dusting, vanilla dusting powder is. It's one of our 10s. Oh, look, you guys, I forgot my palette on my heater, so it's a little shiny and soft, but it'll be okay. But the vanilla dusting powder comes in the same size as the other 10s, so it's terrific because it pops right in there, and it's the same size, and it fits along with everything else. And that's just it. Everything that you need is right in your compact. You can get different sizes. This is my very favorite, the triple decker. It holds, I believe, 27 of these larger 10s, and then more if you're going to get the smaller 10s like your shadows. Those are the lip and cheek colors. These are some more highlighters, bronzers, illuminators. My daughter just stole my amazing Illuminator. Wow, okay. I let her have it because I was being kind, and she really likes it. I have to order a replacement because I do really like that one. Honestly, I use that one more so either for special occasions or I like it for the middle of my lips. And then this is like a double decker, and I have a bunch of eyeshadows here, but I'm running out of space. I have a couple shadows right now that do not fit in here. There are, I don't know how many more shadows, but there are a lot that I do not have, put it this way. So, but I have tended to just stick with the colors that I like and work for me. And as I was mentioning before, since my lids are darker, I can't use like every color. Some of, I think this is basic. Like, you just can't even see that on me. I mean, so maybe with my primer, but then it just looks like my skin tone. So some of them, you know, don't always work for me. So I just tend to stick with what I like, which is the beauty of it. You can stick with whatever you like, and you don't have to waste your money on a palette that has 1 or 2 shades that you use and the rest go unused. You get exactly what you want. You put it where you want it. Everything just pops, and I usually recommend that you do this with the lid so that you don't end up accidentally digging your finger in it, but since this is the shadow, it's not so bad. Everything just pops into your magnetic space because the backs are steel, and you just customize it exactly like you want. And there are smaller palettes and there are even larger palettes. So that is super, super cool. All right, so I did my translucent powder. The other thing I do while that, although this is probably dry and ready to go, is I will start with, and you can do your 3D foundation with just 1 or 2 brushes. But of course I like to have options. And online, the description of the brushes aren't necessarily what you have to use them for. They are truly, truly multi-purpose, multifunctional. Every brush is double-ended, which is great. You get more for your money. And I have had wonderful, beautiful brushes. We'll see. Oh, but I actually love how easy it goes on because it's so creamy and soft right now. Because I will fight with it when I am using it, when it gets, my palette gets too cold in the winter time. So I'm gonna go ahead. I told you guys that it's a good tip to go ahead and do your eyeshadow first, but I'm gonna skip around. So this is actually what I usually do. I put on my contour, and it's usually not this soft and creamy for me, but since I left it on there too long. You can also do this, you guys, with a hair dryer. Just do it for like 30 seconds. I see somebody's jumping on. Who's on here? I see somebody on, and then you're gone, but it doesn't tell me who it is. So hello, whoever you are, whether you're watching now or later. Okay. So I'm going to do my contour just now. I'm going to go back to my eyes. But so tip for the contour, you just basically want to make like a big E, and you can just find your cheekbone, and you can just go right on the cheekbone. You don't have to get too fussy. If you want to go a little underneath, sometimes I know that's a little intimidating, and we're going to blend this out. It's going to look ridiculous until I do that. And then if you go down the sides of your neck, that helps elongate your neck. That's something that's great for me. I do have a short neck. And it's also nice to pull down some of that color. So if you go like that little fat that we all have, extra tissue for our neck. So not right here, but just right behind that little tissue. Then it helps minimize that little double chin that we all get. As well as giving you a little extra color to tie in your face color with your neck and upper chest color. We all tend to be a little lighter, some more than others, because our faces naturally create a shadow where we just don't get light and sun in this area. Okay, so I have my contour on. I'll do my nose later, and I am going to now skip to my shadow. So the shadows are the most pigmented shadows, which is always particularly been an issue for me because of having darker lids, where I feel like I have to just apply for it to show. And that is not the case with our shadows. So some of them I may have to apply a little bit more, but the brand new shadows that came out, I am sitting here looking for, okay, sorry. I love, this is a smudge brush. Love this just for like that basic all over color. So the newer ones are even more pigmented. I don't know why. I don't know how they did it, how they made that possible. But even more so, which I love. It just makes it really fast and easy for me. So I'm just starting, I always do like a basic wash of color, and I go, you know, right over that primer. You can see I use it all of the time. That is Cupcake. And then what I like to do, so that's a smudge brush. I love the multi-purpose brush. It's an eyeshadow brush, it's a lip brush, it's an eyeliner brush. It's great for blemishes and cover-ups. It's for everything. It's definitely, I think, a must. Okay, so I'm going to go into this color called Drift. This is one of the newer shadows that was recently added to the collection. I'm going to do this in the inner corner, and I'm going to look back and forth from my phone to my big mirror because I can't see in my phone very well. So Drift is also great for, it's just a really, really pretty, it's not, I hope you can tell, like it's not white, it's just like a creamy off-white. It was the previous holiday color line from, it was a holiday advent calendar for 2020, not 2021. And the colors were so popular that they finally brought them back by last fall. And I think it was called Eggnog, and that's actually like what it looks like to me. It's just like a really pretty creamy. So this is great also for just accenting, I cannot speak. Just right on the upper brow bone, you want to stay very high. You don't want to go lower because light makes things pop out, and it could give the illusion of having like a hooded lid, which we do not want. So you could do that. You could also use, I use often too, one of my highlight, which is what other companies call foundation, we call highlight. I like one of my light bright highlights for the same effect. So you could do that as well. Again, that's the beauty of the 3D foundation and Seint's products, that everything is so versatile, and you can use it for more than one thing. All right, so I did Drift, and let's see. Let's speed up on this something fast. I love this is new as well, Moscow. And I know the lighting probably does not. It's really pretty. It's like peachy but pink, and it's a really pretty shimmery. Not glittery, but just a little shimmery. So I'll do that like mid-lid. Actually, I was wearing this color, I guess the other day some friends were asking me what I was wearing. So you know what, maybe I'll just do the same thing again. So this is Moscow, okay? Then I'm going to take, this is Hot Chocolate. And I'm feeling like, I will be honest, you guys, this is why it's gotten hard for me to do like the videos, because I do like my whole face and then I feel like I need to go out. You know? But I'm not going anywhere, and honestly I don't want to go anywhere. It's cold, a lot of people are sick, it's the worst day of the week, well, the weekend, to go shopping. I hate going shopping in the weekend. I avoid it like the plague. Everything's got lines and crowded. Okay, hot chocolate. And then I'm going to take, so here is, this is another great brush, the eyeshadow brush. It's got this really dense end and then the fluffy side, which is great for blending. So I want something a little denser for my crease color. This is called Butterscotch. And the trick with this brush, I feel like I still am a little bit of all thumbs. Don't hold it close. It's like a really tight, you hold it closer to the end, and you just kind of have like this, the only way I know how to explain it, it's like a looser control. And you want to just do, we call it the windshield wipe effect. You want to stay in that crease, but you can also go a little bit above I have like a little bit of a hood, not a lot. So when you bring that color from the crease a little higher than the crease, that draws that illusion away from that hood that's covering up the eye. So it'll open up your eye more, give the appearance that it's doing that, of course. So same on this side. So that windshield wiper. And I actually went a little higher there anyway. So I think that's good. Okay, then we can take that, flip it around. And the other nice thing about the double-ended, it just makes it so easy to go back and forth. This is a great little guy. Honestly, this was on clearance. If there are any left, which makes me think they're going to discontinue it, which I wish they wouldn't. I don't know that to be the case, but I'm wondering because Seint rarely has things on clearance. This little guy, it just fits right in here, and it's like a little foam pad, and it's really great to clean your brush of the excess product when you're in between colors doing your eyes. It's for any brush, but I particularly love it for doing my eyes. All right, so I'm gonna just swirl that around. So the last thing I would do is add an accent color on the corners. I'm gonna use this. You guys can't show it to you. Oh gosh, wow, when I do that, you can definitely see the colors better. That is called Cocoa. Use that a lot. So you just want to make either like a little U, like, or a little, I don't know, sideways C or a V. And you just want to stay right in that edge of the eye. And don't worry if you go too far out. That's why it's nice to do your eyes first, because then we could just clean it right up with a swoop of highlight color. Super easy that way. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. See my crazy contour that I haven't blended out. And it's nice to just take that leftover color, whatever you use on your crease. I do not typically use eyeliner on underneath my lower lashes. And that's something too that it's just a nice tip for those of us who aren't 20 anymore, that we always want to have that illusion of lift, everything up, always go up. So not lining your eye with a dark black or something underneath. Once in a while I will do like a green or blue, like number 33 or denim, just like an eyeshadow, and I'll just do that with either the multitasker bottom, or we have the line brush, which has this spoolie, and this is really great for lining, or it's also fantastic for I'll use that to do my brows, to fill those in. So I just, for the most part though, take whatever that leftover crease color is, even if it's something like Mija, like a red, which it's like a, it's not a red, it's like a pink. It looks crazy and it's kind of bright, but once you blend it out, it's a beautiful color. It gets a, you know, more muted once you blend it out, but when you're first putting it on, you feel like a little clownish. All right, so that's it. And then you can again take that swirl to blend it out a little on those outer edges. Okay. All right, so then you can line I like to use, you know, I just use different ones, but I could do either like a felt liner, which I like to do a little wing, or this is Black Friday liner. It is a cream, so you could do that kind of soft, but what I like to do if I want it a little deeper, more defined, is take this is just an old packaging for the setting spray and wet it, spray it, wet it down a little bit, and then dip it in that Black Friday liner and use the line brush. And you would just have to probably dip a couple of times to get it a little bit darker. I'm having a hard time getting my wing today. You know what? It's too wet. I put too much setting spray on it. So it's a little softer, but deep enough. So just depending on the look that you like, just like, you know, with a regular eyeliner, some people like a pencil, some people like a gel. What's the other one? I can't think of what the other choice is. So as far as the brows go, again, I can take setting spray and then I'm gonna just put it, hold it, and spray the spoolie. So I'm gonna brush those up, and then I can go in with the Black Friday liner, which this is my go-to for sure for my brows. Now, obviously this is super dark. I have very dark brows, but a great thing that you can use for your brows would be one of the contours, or some of the eyeshadows. Those are the go-tos for the gals who don't have super dark brows like I do. And the nice thing is that setting spray, since you use that first, then it sets it. And I will go use that setting spray again at the end. Sorry if you guys are getting all these background noises. I think the washer is beeping. The dog just heard somebody at the door that chimed, so I'm never sure what actually, how loud you actually hear it, how the noise transfers when I'm recording. Okay. So that's basically it for the eyes, other than mascara. So I'm going to show you some favorites. This is my Amazing Lashes Wow Combo. You can get this directly from them. They have sales often. I would compare this to the Thrive Tube Mascara. It's a less expensive version. I would say that it's probably similar. I believe you can also get them on Amazon. I really like this Essence Lash Princess. I like that as well. You can get that at Amazon. Okay, so Truth. I think this might be my new favorite. Which I am a little bummed because it's pretty pricey, but they had a great sale during the holidays. I think it was 40% off. So this is City Beauty. You'll probably see advertisements for them all of the time. They do have some nice products. So I finally broke down and I wanted to try the mascara, and I don't know how to describe it. And in case you're wondering, Seint does not sell mascara. Not yet. We keep waiting for it because they used to be called mascara, but not mascara. I look like a crazy person with my hair. I just washed it, and this is total air dry. I did not feel like styling it. I just put a little product in it. So I must curl my lashes because I am blessed with very long lashes, but they have, you would not know that because they're poker straight, and you can't see them. So, as I was saying, so Mascara Beauty was spelled M-A-S-K, like a mask. Cara, which Cara is our CEO and founder. She is a licensed makeup artist who had a blog, a beauty blog, that became very popular, and she decided to attempt her own line to see how it would sell. And she wanted to recreate a very simple, easy way for the everyday woman to do makeup that was just as beautiful as what she did for her clients with contouring and other things, but it left her just really dissatisfied because she would feel like, wow, you know, they look really beautiful. I can really accent, you know, the true beauty of them is coming out, but they're never going to be able to do this on their own, which is exactly what she accomplished by experimenting around and coming up with her own beauty line, which was at first called Mascara and then rebranded fall of 19 to Seint, which is what it is now. Okay, so my eyes are done. Let's go back to 3D foundation. I can put some of these extra products, away here. I've got so much going on here, you guys, that I feel like I'm going to start dropping things. Okay, so I am going to take, this is the 3D brush that I was using. Again, you can use 1 or 2 brushes to get started. You don't have to have all of the different brushes. I typically like to recommend the blush and bronzer brush. It's always hard to say that for newbies. It's not just for blush and not just for bronzer. The denser side is great for 3D application, and then this is great for blending things out, and then for maybe like your blusher or bronzer. So that is always one great option. The 3D brush, so once they redesigned the brushes, so these are actually my older brushes, but I love them, so I haven't replaced them. Just a couple here and there because I added to my collection over the past year. The 3D foundation, I didn't love it before, but the newer one, this is really great too. I just think because of the design and the brushes being denser, you tend to get more product on. So for newer users for Seint, I like to start them off with something that doesn't put too much product on the brush, because it's the biggest mistake that newbies make, because they just cannot believe how little product they need. So they tend to overdo it. That's why I tend to recommend that brush. But you know, they're all different brushes for different types of finishes. It's for the type of finish that you like or how much of the look. This is the buff brush, and this is the densest brush. So if you like a heavy, very full coverage, this would be something that I would recommend. But again, if you're newer to Seint, even with this, I would be super hesitant to recommend this to someone, even if they do like a heavier coverage, because you can layer it and you can apply more with one of the other brushes. So that's a little bit about the brushes. Okay, so I'm going to go in. So we have something that's called Camo Bridge Pop. That's something that our senior upline person, Rachel, came up with probably 2 or 3 years ago. And so the idea is, you know, you can definitely get started with a highlight color, and which is like your foundation color, and your contour color, and a lip and cheek color, and they used to recommend like an Illuminator. So that would be your 4, and you would get a small palette, which you can still certainly do. It would be this size palette, and it just fits 4 of those larger highlights. I typically recommend you at least start with 1 small double decker so that you have enough space for more than just 1 highlighter, because it honestly just works better. I typically don't start a newbie with less than 2 highlight colors, but 3 is preferable, because this way you always have like an extra color to either camouflage with or get you through in between seasons, summer, winter, when you're going from lighter to darker and vice versa. So you're going to see me using several colors, but obviously you would need a color match, which is super important that you not select a color on your own, because this is just not like traditional foundation. And most people, I don't know of anybody who has gotten it right. You will tend to get it wrong because you're just trying to do the whole swatch matching your skin. It's just very different. The colors are warm based, yellow based intentionally for warmth. Some have a little more of a green hue to cover maybe redness, but it's just a very different process of selecting and matching your foundation. And the reason it's great, sorry if I'm repeating myself, I don't know if I said this, to get more than one color is because your face is not one color. We have different dimensions. It's not flat. And that's the issue of your traditional conventional foundation, is you do this one whole soup of color, but you don't get that dimension. So this 3D dimension is what just allows you to have that beautiful, natural way of accenting the real you. Again, I am having a hard time talking today. Good vibes. You're watching. Hi, good vibes. So thanks for joining. Just doing a video about Seint IIID foundation. And so I started with my, I would say, not my pop color, but kind of a, between my pop color and a bridge color. And this is a lighter color that I use because you want to draw lightness towards what we call the triangle of light. And this draws attention towards your eyes. That's where you want people to see you the most and be drawn towards. And then down in this area, what I kind of call our bearded area, which does not sound very attractive. Where is, okay, here, I'll do the 3D foundation. So this end of the 3D foundation, this great tapered end is super for this area. And notice I just did a large triangle to cover this area. And then I'm going to flip the brush around and I'm going to use a color called, not Sandy, that's a lip and cheek color. This is Mango, is my main color. And I'm just kind of sort of dotted along. Some people, you'll see them using the finger method where they're just like this. They're just dotting it all over. Some things I use my fingers for, but I usually tend to prefer the brushes. So this looks like I'm applying a lot. I mean, literally, my brushes do need to be cleaned, which I swipe them every day on an old washcloth, but at least once a week I will use the, dropping brushes, the Seint cleanser, which does a fantastic job of getting that extra color out. So this is just like a stain. There's actually no, the old color that you're seeing there, that's like a lip and cheek. So you're just dipping it in there, just a soft touch. Less is always more, and you can always add. And then you're just kind of dotting that along, and then I'm going to blend it in a little bit. Now, the only other thing I didn't do earlier, well, not the only other thing, I guess a few steps we're still missing. So now I'm going to use my fingers, and I'm going to use, so this is my third color, and this is called Sunlit. And again, that triangle of light, we're going to focus on certain areas to draw just attention towards that part of our face. I'm going to swoop a little down the bridge of my nose, a little on the Cupid's bow. You can do a little on your chin. I also like to do a little here above the brow bone. Okay. And then we're going to do our lip and cheek color. So I'm going to do, I like to use like a Buffy, like one of the denser brushes, just to get that color on. So I tend to do this one a lot. So this is Sandstone and Scarlet. Now I'm going to go a little heavy, but you'll see once I blend it out, okay. And then I feel like I'm forgetting something. I am forgetting something. All right. Contour on my nose. You don't have to do this, but I think this makes a difference. My nose is a little wider, so once I learned to do this, I do like it that it thins it out a little. You just want to do that in a thin line, connect it up to your brows. And you know what, if you mess up, you guys, it's cream. You just wipe it off. It's so easy. And then I've got obviously the brighter highlight. Do a little more, and then we'll blend that out. All right, so before I start blending out, I like to then take this is one of the, sorry, wrong one. This is one of the illuminators that I like the most. It's called Rose Gold. And I especially love it because our perfume is just this. It's the Rose Gold Illuminator, but it comes in 4 different scents. It's just scent 1, 2, 3, or 4. 4 is my favorite. And I'm going to take Honey Illuminator. Actually, you know what? I might just go back again later because I still need to blend out this lighter Sunlit. Okay. And then I forgot Sunlit. You want to put a little bit again for that light effect towards your eyes. Just the inner corners, teeny little bit. Sorry, I have to keep looking over at my big mirror. Okay. So we're pretty much ready to blend, and different brushes you can use, but my very favorite blend brush is this. It's called the blend brush. It's super light and airy. It looks like it's bald, like there's stuff missing. That's just the way it's designed. It gives almost, I feel like an airbrush effect. So I'm gonna do the cheek color last so that we don't get that color on our face. And the only way I ever know how to explain this, it's like a tap. You don't want to swipe it off. It's like a tap and kind of press, lots of pressing. You want to press the product in. Okay, lightly over the nose. You don't want to undo the contouring that you just did. And so sometimes what I do, depending on, you know, the lighting, what is my skin doing that day, how light, how dark am I might take, since I had that bright Sunlit, I might just dip, because this is such a light brush, just a little bit of that main color of mine, the mango, tiny bit, and then I just kind of blend it with that Sunlit if I feel like it's a little too light or too bright. All right, and then we're gonna keep blending. Sometimes that inner corner gives me a little bit of a hard time, so I'll flip the brush around, and I'm just kind of pressing and tapping, pressing and tapping. Okay, and then now we're gonna get into that cheek. So the cheek color with the bronzer, it's more of like, it's like a blend and swirl and tap. That's the only way I can describe it. And see how pretty that is? And it looks so bright and crazy sometimes. And after I do this, I feel like, oh, I actually need more. Now, I do like cheek color. I like definitely having that blusher show a little. Not super bright, but I definitely like to. So what I'll probably do is after I use the my perfector sponge, I might put like a little teeny bit more, but pretty much I'm good to go. Let's see, I'm gonna do my favorite liner. I have an extra multitasker brush that I use, which I can't find right now, only because I liked to, oh, here it is. Because I like to do this for eyes, then I like to have one just for other things. Like, I'm gonna take, this is a deep highlight color called Mirage. So it would be a main color, obviously, for someone with deeper skin tones. But it's beautiful as a lip liner. Another super popular lip liner are the contours, especially Indigo, or some of the darker ones. But I just love, it's like a cinnamony color. And the nice thing about it is that I went a little under. So I didn't show you guys this, but I started with the lip conditioner, which is basically the Seint lip balm. But you guys, do not just use lip balm. like, make sure you're using something quality, because it's gonna be a moot point. You're gonna just keep going into that cycle of your skin drying out and overproducing because it's not getting what it actually needs. So I won't mention the C brand, but it's probably some of the worst stuff you could use. This is really emollient, luxurious, and it's got the same ingredients as the Seint skincare line, which has milk products in it and the lactic acid. And it was so popular for us to use it over our lips that they decided finally to create a lip balm. So it's great because it fits right into your palette. So the nice thing about that lip, the highlight as the lip liner is, once I already used that, but I just added some more, you can just kind of blend it out. That could be a simple, easy, everyday lip color. You don't even have to do anything else. But just for fun, let's add something else. So it's great that, again, versatility. You can just layer the products, and you can even make the combinations are endless. So if you want to just play around and not use one color, you can use multiple colors by layering, which is typically what I do. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Royal. It's like it looks really bright, but it's really not. And that happens with most of the colors. They look crazy bright, and then they're really not. They're just super, super concentrated and pigmented. So I love that. And then I love taking something lighter like Cindy or Watermelon, which really wouldn't be like a great color for me. But I love layering it over. And then I like taking one of the powder illuminators. This is almost gone. This is Pearl, and it's all a mess because I dip my finger in it all the time, which is the other color, but I typically use it just for my lips, just to accentuate that middle pout a little bit. And see how pretty that is? And that's it. So the last step would be to then take your perfector sponge, and it's super, super important that this is prepped properly. I just think it works the best this way. I have watched other Seint influencers who use it this way, and I've tried it dry. This just, to me, this is the secret for that magic skin, second skin look and feel. And it sets in and presses in your makeup so that you just don't have that look of like you're wearing makeup. It just moves with your skin, and it's just so pressed on. It just gives it a beautiful finish. So in order to prep this properly, what you want to do is, it's going to be dry. This is an old one. We don't have the pink one anymore. I just did a video the other, okay. Comes in this cute little tin. It's great. I haven't even opened it yet because I'm still using the pink one. So can't really, see if I can open it. It's almost double the size once you prep it properly, and you want to wet it, completely drench it with water. And then you want to squish all the water out until it doesn't drip anymore. And then you want to pretend this is clean. This has got like swipe my brushes. And you want to just squeeze it as hard as you can to kind of dry it out. Just get the excess moisture, and then it's ready to go after that. So I usually squeeze it a couple of times, and then it's like the perfect texture, because it won't, oh, I forgot one thing. I like to do the bronzer, sorry. So this is, we used to have one bronzer, well, we used to have two a while ago, but Bella bronzer is still fabulous, terrific. But this Heat Waves, for my skin tone, I particularly love it. And I just like to swirl that with one of the darker glow. This is an Illuminator. So again, Illuminator is what other companies call highlighter. We call Illuminator. And what other companies call foundation, we call our highlight. So I just like to kind of swirl that in, and then just you know, you just want to touch the areas where you would naturally kind of get sun, and then just blend it out. And you can do, you know, as little or as much as you want. I'm doing very little right now, but I especially love it for just, I told you guys to contour down on your neck, but just to tie in your face with your neck, so you don't have this floating head syndrome. And we all have that lighter neck, so it just evens everything out. You can pull it down on your chest. So I do love doing that right before I finish. All right, so now we can go back to our perfector sponge, and you are just going to press, like bounce it. You're just going to bounce it, bounce that sponge. And you'll hear me say this over and over, but you have all the different blending brushes out there. I won't say the BB brand, but this is honestly better than that. I have like 5 different brands I've tried in the past. This is better and less expensive. It really, and it's affordable. What is it? I think it's either $14 or $16. I can't remember. And that's it. You can even go over like your eye makeup, and it's nice because what it does is it sets your makeup, but it'll pull off any excess product that, you know, you might have. That's pretty much it. And then I finish off with the Seint setting spray, the same one that I used at the beginning to use as a primer. And that's it. So the only other thing I wanted to tell you guys was, as far as things for today, that are some other favorite things, are along with the Seint skincare, we do have the mask, which I love because I don't use like a high, super grainy, coarse type of scrub mask or scrub. That is too aggressive for my skin, and I would say probably for most people. We tend to have this idea that the more we scrub, the harder we do it, the better it is, and that's not the case. It's just, it can be too much and it could aggravate your skin or damage it. So I love that this goes on just like a very thick, the pump is awesome because it dispenses just what you need. And maybe for this I might do like 2 pumps because it's a mask. And so it's like a thick lotion, but it's, the granules are so fine. And you just let it sit there. I have actually slept in it overnight and it's been totally fine. But back to that other line that I mentioned to you guys earlier, the GoPure, which I do like their products. I do like their enzyme. I don't have my glasses on. I like their enzyme mask as well. And it just feels really good. It's really clean. And similar to the Seint, you can hardly feel any kind of granules in it. So it's great for sensitive skin. And so I kind of go back and forth between the two. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I started mentioning to you guys at the beginning. Oh yeah, so as far as the skincare goes, so what I started doing about a month ago, I will post, I was trying to find an older picture. I think the picture that I found was maybe like from the spring, and then one from, I think it was just this week, just the other day. And I did a side by side like I typically do for my before and afters. Which I'll probably do this one as well. But I was trying to track the before and after of what's called derma planing or derma rolling. So I got one of these guys and I did some research and I had started hearing about them. So this roller actually has really tiny, fine needles. Can't see them, but you can feel them. And so you just roll it across your face, and it sounds a little terrifying. I was a little scared, and you know, I did mention earlier I do have some skin sensitivity, but it's super manageable. I don't know how else to describe it. It is not, I mean, you're not gonna press really hard. Obviously, that would be terrible. But you can feel them, but it's completely tolerable. It doesn't hurt. It's just a little tingly, maybe is the way I would describe it. So you have to follow the instructions. There are different brands out there. You're gonna get, oh my goodness, there are a million reviews. You can, and I dug up some YouTube videos. There are some that are really pricey. I got this on Amazon. I read the reviews. I liked it. It comes in a little kit, and there are, so okay, honest, I liked it because it came with options. A girl likes options. This girl likes options. But I like this for the rest of the face, and then I like that it had this smaller one for like the eye area. And I only do this on what I call my problem areas. So I started noticing, I turned 50 the year before, the big year, 2020, I turned 50. Yes, I had a COVID 50th birthday. And I swear, just within the past, within 1 year, I really did start seeing a difference on just my collagen production. Obviously I can't see that, but I could see the effects of, getting these laugh lines, which I already had, but they really started getting more significant to me. It was really starting to bother me. I was getting self-conscious, so I figured I had nothing to lose. I have been using, I mentioned City Beauty earlier. They have the blurring wrinkle filler. I started using that, and I don't know, I mean, I guess it helps a little. Prior to that, I was using Rock, same thing as a filler, and I was strictly just using it on these areas, these, I call them my crevices, that I can't stand, and I don't think I'm seeing things. So I will post the picture. You guys tell me the truth. If you see a difference, I definitely see a difference, and I definitely feel a difference. This was my really, really bad side. So I find myself not even really using the filler anymore. And the other tip I used to do, which is a great tip, especially for under eyes, if that's a struggle for you, is taking your main, your main highlight color. I can do it, let me wipe off this dark highlight color that I did as a lip liner. That would be bad. I have done that before. And so if you go into your darkest shadow of your crevice or whatever you want to call it, and you go in there and you just lightly tap this in, what it does is it's gonna, again, remember I mentioned earlier when I was going with the highlight under the brow bone, if you go too low, it's gonna draws things out. So you don't want to go too low, because then you end up looking like you have a hood on your lid. But you want that effect on things that have a deep shadow, because it draws it forward. I honestly am not going to see, not that it's a huge difference, but it does make a difference. But because I've been derma rolling, I really haven't been doing it anymore. And the same thing for under the eye, especially under the eye. I have this little natural dark spot I've developed, although I think I did a pretty good job of covering it today, but sometimes even with my lighter highlight, and that's just it, you don't want to go too light. You want to go the color of your skin. And even right in here, especially when I'm tired or sleepy, and if I do a video in the morning or have a picture, you can see it more. That makes a big difference. So I feel like doing this derma rolling, I find myself not even doing that on a regular basis anymore. So again, it does have, I guess, so this is a larger one for body, I think, and the needle sizes are different. These are smaller needles. The ones for the face are a little bit longer, and again, you're not going to be able to see this, to the naked eye. They're just really tiny needles in there. There's a little, a little pad, I don't know, for maybe beauty products or something. The only thing I use are the two, so I will say, but I think the whole little set was it was $20 or $25. It wasn't very much, but I really love that it comes with this little guy that I keep filled with 70% alcohol, because you are supposed to cleanse your tool prior to using, which honestly I just did that when it was brand new from the factory, but I just do it now every single time after I use it, so that this way it's clean and ready to go for the next time. And you're supposed to dip it for let it soak for several minutes. So that's a nice little option, but again, there are a ton of options out there. My girlfriend recommended one, I think that she got at Target, and she's been using for a while too, that she really likes, and I think it's like $10. I might purchase that one next time, only because these are supposed to be replaced every 3 to 4 months. They dull out, and so it's not going to be as effective. So because I don't use all of these other ones, and I already have this little thing that I like, and I just dropped my lid, I might try out the one that my girlfriend suggested. But you can find all kinds of different ones out there, but it's something worth trying. Can't hurt. You just have to be specific, or pay attention to following the very specific instructions of how to roll. It's like a little pattern that you do. I don't want to do this because I have makeup on, but so like what I do is I kind of go like this, and you want to go up and down. So I do that 5 times. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you want to go sideways. So because this is, the area is longer, I might do my sideways like in 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you want to go crisscross or diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there is a very specific way to use it, but it's really fast. I mean, you get done in like a few minutes, your whole face. And I just concentrate on these problem areas, and then under my eye, and then I have like a little, like some people get like their 2 little lines. I just have 1 for some reason, and that's diminished. So I'll do that area, and I will do my entire forehead because it's also good for hyperpigmentation, which I do have with melasma. So that's it. So I think that covers everything. I know I keep saying that, and okay, so here's another thing I forgot to mention. Remember I talked about doing my mask? So the mask I do like, other than the Seint and the enzyme mask with GoPure, is I love a good clay mask. I love a great detox mask, and I don't do this often. I do this every once in a while. I don't do it on a regular basis, but I love this brand, and you can find other ones out there. This is called True Self, and it's like a little set. So it's all natural clay, and you have different ones. I think bentonite clay, and I forget which one this is, and I don't have my glasses on. And this is just apple cider vinegar, pretty much is what this is. So you can, I've done my own before I had this brand. It was this big tub I had found on Vitacost.com. I had it for years, and then I would just you add a little apple cider vinegar. But I just love how that's a little set, and then you can add this adorable little bowl with the wood spoon. So you scoop out your clay and put it in your little bowl, and then this is your pretty little brush that you apply it with. And is this an absolute must or necessary? Probably not, but I like it, and it makes me feel like it works better that way. And I'm a sucker for packaging, I will tell you right now. So okay, officially, I think I have covered everything that I wanted to tell you guys about today. Thank you for watching, those of you that have been on. And I warned you at the beginning this would be long-winded. I had a lot to cover today, so feel free on the replay to, well, obviously I don't need to tell you that. You're going to do it on your own. You can skip around, fast forward, watch what you'd like. If you have any questions, please shoot out a message. I am happy to get back to you. And my name is Mika Augustine. I don't think I introduced myself, and I am with Lady MDA Beauty. I love to focus on my favorite products, which are Seint Beauty, and I just gave you some other favorites that I'm not affiliated with, and I'm also affiliated with Seiko Design, which is near and dear to my heart because of the cause and the mission of helping women around the world. So please check out my page for posts, or my website, ladymdabeauty.com. And I don't make as many videos as I used to at the beginning. I've just gotten a little busy, and I'm just a regular old gal. I am not a, you know, prime influencer or blogger or anything like that, but I love sharing things that I love with my friends, old and new. So thanks for being with me today, and reach out to me for your free color match. Seint Beauty, I'm telling you, there is nothing like it. Best makeup ever, which is why I jumped in a year ago to represent them, because it is wonderful. And I do not have a friend who has not tried it and purchased it and fallen in love with it too, even though there is a little learning curve because it's like nothing else. But once you get it down after a couple weeks, you're good to go. So that's it, guys. Happy Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you for watching. And I am going to try very hard to do another live shortly to showcase some new Seiko products that I recently just got within the past couple of weeks with the end of season sale. Some things are still available, so I want to show those to you live up close and personal, because it is just not the same when you're seeing them online on that catalog. All right, take care. Talk to you soon. Be the best you. You are beautiful. Bye.